Only one fucking problem. Kyle's still on the boat.
Yeah.
Our sassy little shitstir can't exist in a world with no drama.
Yeah.
He's pissed Natalya brought up his name in that text to Sandy.
Yeah.
The self-proclaimed gossip queen tells us there can only be one backstabbing asshole on the boat.
Well, and he does a real beautiful kind of Simone Biles like floor routine here of mental gymnastics where he goes, you know, my revealing to Natalya what that text said was an act of friendship. Welcome aboard another brand spanking new episode of another Below Deck podcast. My name is Dylan. I am saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Permission to come aboard.
Granted. Oh my gosh, does it feel good to be back in the studio?
Yeah. I thought we pulled off the shows via Zoom, but I understand why some barnacles would complain about the
Did we do a Zoom show?
subpar audio equipment.
Did we do a Zoom show on Below Deck?
Yeah, we did. Mm-hmm.
It's been such a blur. Everybody go over to patreon.com to listen to...
Oh, can I promote this?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so for all the new people that have come in for Patreon, and by the way, you're a fool if you don't sign up at the $5 tier. Dylan and I drop an episode.
It's a great tier. It's a great tier.
You know, well, some of our peers who I love, for $5 a month, they give you like 20 minutes of shooting the shit. Dylan and I give you 2 episodes a week for $5, and they're full episodes, one of which being us sharing our lives for about, an hour talking. In this last episode, I shared a story where I was thought I was made up with a guy from a road rage incident, and then he threatened to kill me with a gun.
Yeah, that was pretty wild. And I recapped a trip from New York, Day of Jihad, 7 Hasids, get on the subway, interactive theater, naked cocks, goat heads, screaming, strobe lights and blood. I mean, it was a really, really great episode. But that's not all you get at Patreon. And we're not going to do this whole big Patreon pitch, but I just do want to say...
Too late.
Ad-free. Ad-free, no programmatics, no live reads, no none of that. Just go over to Patreon. We love you very much.
One last thing. For those of you that love Below Deck, this week we're wrapping up our coverage of Season 1 of Below Deck.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to promote a C-Rat interview because they're literally a coin toss if the C-Rat show up. But we do have Kat and Sam from Season 1 to recap Episode 10 with us. So if you want to sign up after you hear this, you will catch that as your first piece of content.
It's kind of like a coin toss if it was bent down. So you bend the coin one way a little bit. So it's very, very difficult for it to land on the more concave side, which is the side of the C-Rat actually showing up. So it's not quite 50-50.
Right.
It's like Vegas. The odds are just never in our favor for these C-Rats showing up. But listen, when we do nab them, they're great talks. Also, and we're going to get into the show, but reviews have been amazing. This is a great one from Eid Mac. Whatever, great podcast. Love the show. That's a hilarious review. I love that one. And there are longer ones that are beautiful, and we will read them, but we've been doing PSAs for too long now, and I won't let that happen again. We'll do more reviews next week. I promise if I remember. So, Pat, we have an episode of Below Deck to get into.
Yes, we do, Dylan.
And I actually quite enjoyed it.
You did?
Yeah.
Was that because of the breaking of the bread?
No.
The peace pipe, no?
No, not because of the peace pipe. And for whatever that's worth, that treatise is, I think you signed on that. When you used to get reprimanded in school and there would be the yellow copy and the pink copy, the carbon copies,
yeah.
That's what that treatise is.
Are you saying the treaty was written with invisible ink, Dylan?
Essentially. But no, the reason why I loved this episode, or one of the reasons, we got to see the great Danger Aaron. I mean, a true... I was starstruck. I mean, that guy, he's very important to me as a child.
Wow.
Jackass was very big. Me and the Scouser love Jackass. Do you love Jackass?
Not really.
Another reason that I loved this episode was Laura just continuing to give the business to the silent film actor. Just love seeing that. And also, what makes good reality television, Patrick?
A villain.
Someone you hate. And I have not hated someone as much as I hate Natalya's scumbag sex trafficking boyfriend since probably Corey on Winter House, who is, again, on Winter House. So that's a kind of masochistic viewing experience for me. But yeah, absolutely hate that guy. Can't wait to talk about it. 4 pots.
Oh, Dylan, so if I can just latch my thoughts on yours, I am loving the Laura. She's going to be a star on this television show.
Do you call it the Laura?
The Laura. Yeah. She wants to hit that Frenchman over the fucking head with a baguette.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
But an old baguette, a 4 or 5 day old one, so it's hard. Yeah.
Also worth mentioning, one of the very few, I'd say, contributions of the French. The baguette, snails, the Louvre, French dressing.
Yeah, the Revolutionary War victory, Statue of Liberty. They've contributed plenty.
Well,
but,
you know what? You're right. You know who hasn't? The Dutch. Dutch oven. That's what they've given the world. Farting on someone you love.
well, and,
Those wooden shoes.
yeah, and a robust network of colonization and, capitalistic explosion, that kind of thing. There's a line in Austin Powers. There's 2 things I hate the most in this world: intolerance and the Dutch. And that's a great line.
I think they should have to put a Dutch oven on their flag.
Yeah. No, it's all they're all orange. I don't know why they're so orange. It's a big deal to them. But anyways,
wanna get in the show?
Absolutely. How many pots do you give it?
I thought it was a great episode. I was happy to put some of the negativity on the boat behind us.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it. It was just a little bit of a reprieve from all the nastiness.
I'm telling you, Elixir, you got a little booze in there, man. That's how you make peace in the world.
100%. Also, ironically, how you fight too.
That's true. There's a lot of range with booze.
They call that a double-edged sword. How many pots?
90.
Okay. We begin where it seems we leave off every episode with
Chaos and turmoil.
just nasty 10-10 stuff with this group of, nasty 10-10s. I can't say tense. You got to really slow down when you say those 2 words. And I wrote them thinking that I could say it, but I can't.
Okay.
But things are tense, and these sea rats are nasty, and it's not just Toomey and Natalya. I mean, Haley is at his throat in the beginning of this
Shut
episode. But finally, the charter guests depart. They tell Toomey that they want to take her home, and that they actually mean that. And that's a fucking odd thing to say to another human being, I felt.
I do want to say there's a couple things that take place before the guests depart.
Yeah.
Natalya explains to Kyle that the conversation she just had with Toomey, where she vowed to never be her friend, but she would be a good worker for her. She tells Kyle that the conversation was going good until it blew up. I'm not sure that's how I'd characterize what took place.
Yeah.
And then, as you noted, the guests depart, but not before a thing I always love, which is an impromptu service report. Turns out everything was great except for those vegan meals prepared for their pain in the ass friend.
Yeah, Scouser did not do the vegan meal. Well, some of our Facebook family had mentioned that Natalya's kind of precursor to the conversation, or maybe it was at the end. I don't know. I smoke pot and we watch so many shows, but at some point Natalya's like, I'm not going to be your friend. And it's completely fucking irrelevant. I don't know why you had to volunteer that status of your relationship. I guess it makes sense in a sea rat environment, but
She meant to hurt her feelings, Dylan.
Yeah.
Some of us say awful things that hurt. Now, I want to say this, Dylan.
some of us say awful things that hurt.
Yeah. But you know what? Before the Sea Rats get to work, before that tip meeting, they go back to work, and Natalya flashes us. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I don't we miss the good old days where you could do that in the office and before corporations made all those rules?
Yeah.
Don't we miss getting blowjobs in, I don't know, supply closets? Simpler time.
Well, I never experienced that. Came close to it one time. I was uncomfortable. But anyways, the sea rats, they burp, they do dips, they flash their tits, and then we get to the tip meeting. Sandy, given the tension in the boat, has to Tony Robbins a little bit, and it's often misplaced and completely unwanted and unwarranted. But here I do think that it is necessary to tell the Sea Rats that they need to earn one another's respect if this is going to be a familia. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Also, cut the shit or one of you is getting fired next charter. I like that even more.
I got my plane tickets ready to go. What a soothsayer that guy is. In order for those plane tickets to have any kind of efficacy, I mean, I know that you can, adjust your flights and whatnot, but Lee would have had to known who was going to get fired at what day. I mean, he would have
lot.
It's just so difficult to have bought all those tickets the way that he did.
The good news, it's all in his past because now he has a very popular podcast called Salty with Captain Lee. Come join me every week. I'll have guests. Actually, I don't need them.
Right. Yeah.
It's got one of those things
It's
going.
crazy that guy is as front-facing as he is. I mean, it's just insane. It's like my father wanting to be in media. No. Just fucking read the Epoch Times and eat bologna sandwiches. That's it. All right. So, more money. Oh, well, we got a big tip, Pat.
Jeezy Louise.
Jeezy Louise.
26K. That's 2 G's each. I might go work on these boats.
No,
absolutely not. Who am I kidding?
no, we got a good thing going. And I don't know. I just don't think it's a good environment for a father of two.
Probably not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah. I see how these sea rats behave.
I think that you have a healthy relationship with your alcoholism, but I think if you were thrown into that bullpen,
Oh, yeah.
it wouldn't
It'd unravel quick.
That would not be good. All right, so great line from Toombs, and I know that the fans want us to get granular with the episodes, and there are these little moments that it's sea rat funny. We don't find it funny.
Oh,
But
yeah. Toomey made it funny here, right?
yeah, Toomey made it funny.
What did she say?
She said, "More money, more money, not more problems." This is what Toomey said: "More money, not more problems. I'm not Biggie, I'm Toomey," and that was a Toomey funny, and that's funny, and we said it, and it happened, and now we can move on.
Please.
So,
Can I do the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So the Sea Rats prepare for their night out. I'm really excited about this one. Nat and Kyle discuss their current relationships.
do you know who else was in that conversation?
Who?
Kyle's pubes.
Oh,
Yeah, his spideys. They were also part of that conversation.
well, the three of them talk about relationships.
Yeah.
And Nat tells us she's starting to like Luca more than a friend.
Yeah.
And how could she not? The guy's cock started a food fight once. How many of us
I
can
know.
claim that?
Yeah. Not
Hey,
me. Oh,
why is there pasta on the wall?
Yeah.
Lucas cock.
Lucas cock, yeah. Yeah. No, she really I mean, that's crazy. And I don't want you to be, and by proxy, me be reductive. I think it was more than just his cock. I think it was his charm. But I do think it was his cock too, and it's really impressive that
Big
I
time.
mean, my
I'd fall for him
goodness.
too.
Yeah. Short King. So we talk about AJ, her boyfriend AJ, which stands for asshole jerk. Take that. We'll get to him later. But first, I guess, I don't know. Quick thing, silent film actor is absolutely blown away that Lara is attractive.
I know. That's pretty rude. Even for the French.
Even for the French. And listen, for as much good as they've done, democracy, yada, yada. And also, I think the French have laid out a really, really important blueprint for the rest of the world. And this has been replicated, time and time again. But if you don't like your leaders, drag them out into the streets and slaughter them. That's an important thing that the French have taught us. But they are very fucking rude.
And this was rude.
But we see a text from AJ, and I'm not going to call him asshole jerk. I'm just going to call him fuckface. serial killer, sex trafficker, fuckface.
So it's basically the text. They show it twice in the episode was, hey, do what you got to do tonight, but don't hurt me because I really care for you. Something along those lines.
My fuse is snaking up to the charge with this guy because this is, it's so annoying to me, these men that demand these open relationships. And it's not all, but this is the majority of the time. It's these guys with an upright chest and machismo explaining to women that the world does not work this way and that monogamy is unnatural and that it only works with penguins and life isn't narrated by Morgan Freeman. Oh. And then when their girlfriends want to dip their toes in the open part of the relationship, they turn into melodramatic bitches, which is exactly what this guy is doing. It's a Nexium kind of manipulation that I'm sad that Natalya fell for in any way, shape, or form. I mean, Lucas Cox started a food fight. Let's get to fucking, work here.
Thank God,
AJ,
Dylan.
Fuck you, man. I hope you're listening.
He's definitely not. And I will say for the audience, if you listen to our great interview with Natalya, she's dumped his ass.
Yeah. But I think she came home and there was like some kind of blood orgy going on. She was like, this is too much.
That'd be a turnoff to anyone.
Well, except for, the people who were involved in the blood orgy. Anyways, so we move on to Lara. She corrected somebody earlier in the season. It's not Laura, it's Lara. I don't know how to say her name.
It's Lara. It's Lara. Lara, this is in the Vans. I love this. Lara tells Nat she's good to go if it doesn't work out with Luca.
Yeah.
I got a good fucking idea. How about a threesome? Everybody wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Were we going to call her Tomb Raider at some point?
Oh, that's a good one.
Were we going to do that or did I?
That might have been in your head, but I like it.
Okay. So we get to Luca's Cool Tattoos, Monarch Butterfly. It is a it's a kind of call to his late grandmother. They often die. Not the butterflies, the elderly. And he said that the Monarch was representative of her sexier side and just concerning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he uses this one. And then can we, I guess, get into the nuts and bolts about the conversation at dinner, which was, in fact, rather cordial, which was refreshing.
Yeah.
Booze, as I pointed out at the top of the episode, Dylan, is quite the waterfall of peace pipes and also the fuel for physical abuse and violence, as shown and documented quite a bit in CRAD histories.
Yeah. Can you imagine standing under a waterfall of peace pipes? I mean, you'd get a fucking concussion. So Kyle does this thing where they get their first round of espresso martinis, of which they will have 11. And he says, cheers to Toomey for doing such a good job. I don't know if we're putting the cart before the horse here. I think that we're expecting Kyle to do something horrific. So maybe we're putting too much evil on him. But this was a vicious fucking catty rat move, I think.
Well, unless we have him on at some point and he claims that they edited out all the praise that he gave Natalya for the sake of an edit.
Right. Well, Jess is on her way to another blackout, or on her way to getting blackout. When you say I'll have another one of whatever this was and you hold the glass up, you're having a good night. Toomey and Natalya are getting along and Kyle is traumatized by this. And he's worm tongue. He's an incarnation of human evil. I mean, it's really, really, it's quite perilous, that guy's behavior.
Are we still at the restaurant or are we at the club yet?
Well, I have the Sea Rats are really going for it, so I think we're at the club.
Okay, so when they hit that club, apparently there was ecstasy in those martini espressos because relationships are being repaired all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
Nat and Toomey and Kyle, they all hit the refresh button. We'll see how long that lasts. Haley apologizes to the Frenchman, and Lara wants to finger someone.
Lara was all over the place. I mean, she was talking about grabbing Natalya's hair and smacking her ass, and then I think she grabs Luca later on in the episode.
Who did she kiss? Was that the Frenchman?
It was either the Scouser or Luca. I couldn't tell.
Which is odd because she does not respect the Frenchman on any level.
No, I don't think it was the Frenchman. The Frenchman would have. he would have been all fucking French about it. It would have been way bigger of a deal. Luca, trades women like commodities. He wouldn't be, too moved by that. So we get to no. This is the Bananos Tsunami. This is the club, right?
I believe so. Although we do go back to the hot tub later on.
We get back to the hot tub. Jess at this point is an absolute zombie. The walls are the only thing that are keeping her afloat. And out of nowhere, I don't know who the hell this was, but
maybe I wonder, did they do that intentionally? Although he looked taller to me, but they did it on stairs, on that spiral staircase. So I couldn't make out who it was, and I feel bad.
Leave a 5-star review. Say Tomb Raider made out with blank. Let us know.
Thank you.
So this is just some serious sea rat shit going on this evening. I mean, the ball of snakes has found the water that it needs to slither in, and that is the hot tub. That's the mark of every good season.
It's worth pointing out, though, it is 9 hours before a charter with paying customers coming aboard, and Jessica is vomiting in a toilet. And I believe Luca and Natalya share a cheek kiss. So I'm leaning more towards that was the Frenchman and Laura.
Okay.
Because Luca kind of holds it close to the vest. He thinks he's above it all. I think he thinks it's his lips should be cherished.
You let us know who you think it was. We'll Zabruder this thing. But the asshole fuckface jerkface rears his ugly head because we are deprived of the Carrie Elwes and Robin Wright kind of romance that why did I do that?
Well, it's okay. I think what you're trying to point out is why did Natalya and Luca not spend the night with one another? Because all of it was there. They were both drunk. They both find each other attractive, but it's that great tension of a good show. Bruce Willis and Cybill Shepherd in Moonlighting, they didn't hook up until like the third season. And once they did, people stopped watching.
Yeah, it's kind of like Nick and Jess in New Girl.
Exactly.
So we wake to a text from said serial killer whose presence and cloud over the evening deprived us of the Moonlight, Bruce Willis, and Cybill Shepherd kind of kiss. And he says, hope you didn't go too crazy. Fuck off. God, I hope... I really want to talk to this guy. I know he's a titan of industry, and we're small potato chips to this guy.
He's too busy. He's at a gangbang right now.
Yeah, but I'd really love to really get some face-to-face time with him because I really do despise him.
I don't think he'll fall into our trap, Dylan. But something else happens this morning.
Yeah,
the sun is shining. All of the in the world is well.
All of the
no more drama.
Yeah,
only one fucking problem. Kyle's still on the boat.
Yeah.
Our sassy little shitster can't exist in a world with no drama.
Yeah.
He's pissed Natalya brought up his name in that text to Sandy. Yeah. The self-proclaimed gossip queen tells us there can only be one backstabbing asshole on the boat.
Well, and he does a real beautiful kind of Simone Biles like floor routine here of mental gymnastics where he goes, my revealing to Natalya what that text said was an act of friendship. I did not mean for that to be turned around on me. Mm-hmm. And this is what happens when you have somebody who is trying to Svengali in the shadows. Their plans start to fall apart, and they cannot be overt about their corrective measures. They have to seethe and plot like a fucking rat. So anyways, we get to the preference shape mating.
I got a couple beats here if you need them, Dylan.
Yeah, hit me, babe.
Okay, we have have Orby and his family. This is the third time they're on the show.
Be careful now because Orby is a big fan of the podcast now.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. So be careful, Pat.
He's definitely has an unhealthy relationship with the bottle, but that's okay. Who doesn't? He's friends with the dude from Jackass, and of course he is. And of course his name is Danger.
Yeah.
There will be high chairs, vegetarians, and Sandy adds in the preference sheet meeting, she says, and I quote, "The guests like to have fun. Thanks for that useless piece of information, you idiot.
Oh my God. I can't believe you don't like Danger Aaron. I mean, he's the guy that does all of the worst shit, in my opinion. IMO. Danger Aaron is the guy that, I mean, they just absolutely torment that poor fucker.
You know, it's the first I ever heard of his name, and I think I've at least seen 2 out of how many of those movies they've made.
Oh, there's some of my favorite movies. You know, there's the disgraced Louis C.K. said that watching Jackass is like, you know, we've talked a lot about the French this evening, but it's like this kind of I don't know. It's like a French art form where you see people who are really hurting themselves, but a camaraderie around it. It has an artistry to it that is really, really special. And when you see somebody named Poopy take a sledgehammer to a stepladder that he's on, and then he falls on his face and almost breaks his neck, and everybody starts laughing on the Paramount backlot. I just, it's the simplest form of happiness for me. You know, I mean, one of my favorite really pieces of any media. I mean, be it The Godfather or Paula Deen. I mean, she's disgraced, but I did enjoy her show. I'm just saying it's a spectrum. I've watched a lot of things. Is Danger Aaron, I think, or perhaps it was somebody else, but they got in a mouse costume and they went inside a cougar encampment. Maybe it was a different cat, but the cat just swiped him in the head. It was a little vignette. It was 3 seconds, but it's so funny.
Someone risked their life for our enjoyment.
Yeah.
And why don't I hit a few meanwhiles here, Del?
Absolutely.
All right. Meanwhile, Jessica is still hungover. Captain Jack and Toomey get on the same page for once.
Yeah.
Luca thinks promoting Lara will get the Frenchman in line. And Natalya wants to be the boat nanny. Oh, and Toomey continues to pray for peace.
Yeah. Keep praying. So let's talk about Anne, whose name is Jess, whose name is Anne. She needs to go to the emergency room because her throat hurts. This is, you know, I mean, the kids these days. This TikToking, dance choreographing, younger generation. I mean, it's just absolutely insane that Anne would say, I need to go to the emergency room. You have vomit burns from your binge drinking.
Hey,
you don't have a disease.
Hey. She might have something we don't want to spread on the boat, Dylan.
No.
It's a disease called hungovera, and it spreads when someone drinks 12 shots of Casamigos in a short period of time. You fucking moron.
Well, and also when you drink that much tequila, you throw up acid and bile. And what that does is it strains the neck muscles and it burns the fragile lining of the esophageal tube. There's no strep, there's no nothing. It's really just vomit burns. Mm-hmm. That's it. You know, you're going to be fine. Have some throat coat and get to work. I mean, this generation. But the good news about Anne is, and I don't want to be too harsh on Anne, but off the boat or on the boat, we're in the same predicament because Anne isn't on the show.
Not really.
She might as well just stay in the emergency room.
Yeah. That being said, we'd love to have you on the show. Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if Bravo said we've got Ann, I would say, do you have anybody else? I'm kidding. Jess, it's a long season.
Yes.
Okay?
That's why, you know, people wanted us to pick sides with Toomey and Natalya very early on. You fell into that trap, Dylan.
That wasn't a trap. I just picked a side.
Right. And I chose to stand on the sidelines and just call balls and strikes. And it's a long season is my point.
Yeah,
and
it's
you
an
can't
unfair characterization of what you did. I think actually what you did was you fell on Natalya's side because you want to have sex with her.
Hey,
but you're not going to because you have a beautiful family.
Yes, that I love.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Luca will give Lara the lead deckhand promotion, and and Lara read The Secret apparently because this goddamn thing was on her dream board.
Okay, so I don't want to mock her dreams just for the sake of mocking her dreams, right? Because that would be mean. It's insane to have a dream that close to floor level. For anybody, really. I mean, listen, if you're going to have dreams, they cost you nothing. You might as well dream big, right?
To be fair to her, at some point on my dream board I had up there, wanted to be a second assistant lead washer of reptiles at the LA Zoo. Okay.
Yeah.
So that definitely was under lead deckhand.
It's always been my dream to be a line cook at Baja Fresh. Now, I know that being a lead deckhand is more prestigious.
Oh God, we're assholes.
But no, I mean to pay Tomb Raider a compliment at the end of all of this, and we're not good people. but Tomb Raider is capable of so much more than this. Like Tomb Raider is. I want her womaning this vessel. I think she could be a captain.
I see Queen of the Sea status
100%
in a season or two. If they haven't already booked her for the next season of this, they're not.
Yeah, she's great. So
see
aim
what
higher.
we did there?
Yeah. Huh? So the guests arrive. These little fucking demons are running around already. No, I'm kidding. They seem like cute kids.
Hey, some people like a little bit of history with guests. I've mentioned this before. I think last time Orby was on the show, he was on a fucking fun reality TV show called The Rock Life on VH1. Like
you really hit
ago.
the fucking hard there. You really like that.
I'm excited about it. It was about Orby. He was the drummer of a rock band. I forget who the singer was, but his dad like owns the Roxy or something. Anyway, the whole season was them getting a record deal, going on tour, and then not having a record, having to make the record, and just it's called The Rock Life. Check it out. I think you probably find it on YouTube. But Orby was on that. Hey, there you go, Orby.
100% that's on YouTube.
Oh, 100%.
100%. Like every episode of Flavor of Love. So, Maximilian is pissed about Laura's promotion. I didn't really understand what he was saying because he was miming too loudly. Because the only way that he can express himself are with the title cards, that show up in between his portions.
Well, I think he fears with great power comes great responsibility, and he's not so sure that she can handle that.
Yeah. Well, he has an indecipherable French accent, and he has a bad attitude. But who knows? He may, listen, every season of the show is like, you watch one of those marble races. You know these marble races? You see somebody like Anne, and you go, hire a board of, hire a piece of wood to be on the show. Sorry. You see somebody like Anne, and you go, well, she's not doing
anything.
Yeah. So, and she would be perhaps a marble in the back of the pack, and you go, oh, well, there are so many marbles ahead of her going down the chutes, and there's no way that she's going to win. Maximilian may be in that same predicament where he's one of these marbles, and you go, oh, that one that has like a quartzy kind of look is just not going to win. And then maybe he'll ingratiate himself to all of us. We never know.
You never know. It's a long season, dude. All right. Should we get into...
Did you think I did a good job explaining that?
I was trying to track along with the analogy. I think you stuck the landing.
Thank you so much.
Well, the boat departs.
I think the landing gear has been fucking ripped off the bottom of the plane, and a wing has broken off, broken inside the back of the plane, and ripped through the throats of numerous people in the back. And that's how I think that went. Oh. Did you hear about that co-pilot today that tried to kill everybody on the plane?
I think I stay away from the news, Dylan, but I believe that passed by my eyes as I was watching our local morning affiliate, KTLA.
What happened there?
No clue yet. And I don't believe anything until I see like 10 different sources.
Yeah.
You're all liars.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's amazing us trying to suss out the ins and outs of international conflicts on Twitter.
It's called X, I think.
Oh, it's called X. I'm sorry. All right. Sorry.
All right. So Toomey shares a quaint little story about being an au pair for some racist little shitbags. And
Toomey with the C-Rat histories, some of the craziest C-Rat histories. We've got last week, Mom saying your dad just got gunned down. Go do the ballet. This week, we've got her au pairing for children who were captured by the spirit of Satan. I think they locked her in a garage. They threw Apple products at her, and they told her to go back to Africa.
Yeah, she has a good laugh about it though. So,
yeah.
I guess she's not upset about it.
Yeah. So there's this line that we hear numerous times from Luca to Maximilian, and it's, "What are you doing? Don't do that."
Yeah.
Over
and shut up.
over
It's kind of like a
and
cycle.
over.
What are you doing? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Be quiet. What are you doing? Don't do that. Be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is really,
La,
really.
la, 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 la.
Luca and Max get into a little bit of a dust up over over Maximilian's break, and this is why the fat cats of America have force fed us this kind of degrading the way the French live. They take a lot of time off. They're very lackadaisical. They like vacationing, and it is an idle and sloppy way to live. But I think that's where Max is coming from.
He is, and also he makes a great point here. I'm going to shock the audience by saying I got Max's back here. You need to take breaks and rest in this line of work.
Yeah.
It's too fucking dangerous. 3 seasons ago, we almost saw a guy get his leg ripped off while Captain Lee was up playing Instagram.
Yeah. Things can happen that are very
You
bad.
got to rest. If ever there were some labor laws that should be recognized, it's for the exterior team.
Yeah, and what are we doing here? Like, no, these toys have to be put away properly. The handheld skidoo diver things, they have to be cleaned before. It's like, just let people fucking, take a under the pillow nip of Hennessy and go to sleep.
Go take
you
a
know
break.
what I
Take
mean?
20.
All right. So clearly my brain is shitting out on itself. So Pat, why don't you go ahead?
Oh, sure. Okay. So anyway, that doesn't go well. Then Kyle, I guess this is still the morning. So is Kyle? Yeah, he's woken to do housekeeping. He's a little late there. Wait,
Yeah.
no. I'm sorry. He's woken up. This is like right before dinner. And this is when guests are seated for dinner. And dinner will be in Italy tonight, Dylan. We learn Chef Jack isn't too keen on cooking 5-star meals for human beings that still shit themselves.
Well, also 5-star is not a helpful directive.
I agree.
It's like, what kind of food do you like? Good.
Thanks.
Help me narrow that down a little bit. You know what I mean?
I agree more.
My God.
Well, prior to dinner being served, this is when Aaron, the jackass guy, recounts how many times he's been injured. He broke his neck a few times. He ruptured his testicles once, but to be fair, that's when he chose to stick his cock in an alligator's mouth. So you play with fire, you might get your balls eaten off.
Yeah, or you play with alligators.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Nat lets us know that despite some of the hiccups in the interior, we're dealing with the dream team here. And then we have dinner.
It's crazy that they're all very good at their jobs, but it still seems like they're not good.
I think Natalya was making the point they can squabble and fight and do all that stuff behind the scenes, and yet if you're the charter guest, you have no clue all that shit's happening.
Yeah. And to Toomey's credit, we don't have Smurf blowjob shots getting doled out. Like, everything's pretty, above board. Dinner is going to be homemade truffle gnocchi, Wagyu beef, and tiramisu will round out a very uninspired dinner from the Scouser.
Oh boy, we're gonna have him on next week, I think.
Okay. Listen, I'm not saying that the Scouser's not capable of cooking great cuisine. I mean, we've seen him do it, but chuck some beef and gnocchi at somebody and then give them tiramisu. I mean, tiramisu is nice every once in a while, but it needs to be in a gingham old, like, Italian place. If I'm on a boat and I get tiramisu, I'm just gonna, I don't know. It's just I don't like giant amounts of whipped cream. I don't like that. I don't care that it's the lady fingers and it's just I don't like that dessert.
You know what else I don't think you'd like? A goddamn tender being pulled up by a fucking crane 20 feet from your head while you're sitting at a goddamn dinner table.
Yeah. This is this show. This is people paying exorbitant amounts of money, sitting down to a dinner with their family, and then, like out of a fucking Monty Python sketch, a crank super in need of WD-40 is lifting up a fucking tender. I mean, My God. So the waters are rough. The tender comes up. I'm surprised we didn't get a TBC card at this.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But they get it on the boat just fine. The only issue is that they did it while the guests were eating dinner, which Sandy tells Luca,
Never do that again.
never do that again. Everyone goes down, including Natalya, who gets a call from Fuckface. He is having a hell of an evening himself, isn't he, Pat?
Yeah, he's with his buddy and 5 prostitutes. And Natalya tells us she's confused by all of this, although she shouldn't, because she's dating a guy who's told her he plans on sleeping with other women.
Yeah.
I don't know where the confusion is. But,
well, the confusion is it comes from him going, oh, baby, baby, do your night out, but keep my heart, keep my heart and mind, all while he is eating someone's ass and getting his fucking own ass and his dick sucked at the same time. I mean, that's unbelievable. The hypocrisy. What the fuck?
I know, man.
It's just nuts. You know what else is nuts? I think the baby's name is Love.
Oh, I like that.
You do?
I wouldn't choose that as a name, but who am I?
You're Pat.
Oh, that's right. I wouldn't choose that name.
Luca is.
Your kid's going to be a punching bag.
You know what I love? Nuggies.
Exactly. Get over here.
Yeah. So Luca is losing it with Max. He's 45 minutes late to work, and this is going to come to a head eventually. Anne is going to be better in 4 days from her vomit burns. It blows me away that in this kind of ragtag, gruff world of sea rats and maritime law, that this Anne is just allowed to go to the hospital for a week and a half because she's got vomit burns. I mean, it's just
She's
nuts.
hungover.
So, Danger Aaron is really the only problem I had with Danger Aaron is just the amount of Jackass plugs that he was doing. Like don't bring the Jackass shirt.
Right.
Don't do that.
And don't wear the booby pajamas, because that is so jackass, you jackass.
Max and Laura get into a bit of a dust up at the end of this episode, and that is where we will leave you. I love Laura's attitude. She just tells him, both of the girls I love so much, they just tell Max to shut the fuck up and leave them alone and be quiet. I just, it's a little bit of bullying, but listen.
Hey, come on. I'm good for it.
I'm good for it. All right. Jump in the iTunes ratings, reviews, 5 stars, kind words. Join us on patreon.com/another podcast network. Ad-free episodes. What's up?
In this feed.
Yeah.
Later this week. Winter House. It's on this feed. Want to know why? Because we have 5 sea rats on that Bravo show.
Oh my god!
So it's technically below deck content. So if you haven't seen Winter House, it does not matter. It does not matter. Give us a shot on that. You're going to have a great old time.
No, watching Winter House is like watching, honestly, it is like watching an Attenborough documentary, just much less beautiful. But it's there's a certain amount of barbarism. It's very animalistic. It's just people trying to fuck each other. And it's bad.
But we're good.
We're good.
But we're good.
The podcast will be very good. So, stay tuned for more on that. Join us on YouTube. Search another Below Deck podcast. And, until next time, I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Later, dudes.